I'm Janice from SRC and today we have Ivan from S5 with us.
Hello.
So your shop has very unique concept, right? Like you got cafe and you got live tea shop. Is this like the first shop in Singapore that has this kind of concept?
So we started with our first shop at S3 and then it's a very small space, like about 300 square feet. So we noticed that reefers bring their families, couples that come around, then it makes the whole shop very cramped after like a few groups come in. So we decided that when we want a second shop, we want it to be bigger and also provide a space where they can eat and also a more family oriented space. So for example, customers that come in here, the reefers, they will bring their kids. So the kids will have ice cream, their brunch here, and also their wife or spouse will go upstairs for their manicure, pedicure as well, which is under Suprem 2 nails. So we have coral shipment 1 to 3 times a week. The corals actually come from a few places, Indonesia, Australia, and also Tonga as well, and other few places.
You guys have been doing a lot of like floral culturing and pet sales. Is there any reason for that?
Okay, because when we first started, we realized that a lot of wild colonies that we put in our tanks, the survivability rate is quite low, and they have a harder time to adapt to our tank conditions. So what we wanted to do is when we go and frag them, they'll be more stable, and also this is to help do our part in helping the environment to sustain the hobby for reefers. So if, for example, we will cut a few pieces and we stick it on frag plugs. So let it grow. Once it's more, more stable, and you start to see it being happier in a way, then we'll bring it over to the shops to sell.
How do you tell that they are very happy?
By their polyps, for SPS, it's like their polyps extend, fully extended. Things like gonio, when you see there's a bit of growth at the side of the edges for our frags.
What is this athleisure shrimp that you are actually bringing in, and what is it different from peppermint shrimp?
So the shrimp we actually bring in is called Kakentali shrimp. This shrimp is similar in the same family as the peppermint shrimp, but of course more effective after it's proven and tested. So we actually have reefers who brought down their rocks filled with athleisure and also some of their zoa gardens. They put it in our tanks and then over 24 hours it actually clears off the athleisure. So this shrimp actually works best in a group.
With the Indo coral ban a few years ago and upcoming will be Australian coral ban, what do you foresee in this hobby?
This kind of ban has been happening over a couple of times already. So we don't really have control over such bans, but what we can do is we do our part by, like I mentioned earlier, we culture our corals. So it can kind of help preserve some of the species available and also available for the reefers in Singapore.
So what would be your number one advice to people who are coming in as a new hobby?
As a new hobbyist, I think you should do your research, do your sufficient research and make sure you have the time and must put in effort. It's really a commitment thing to have a tank at home. It's not just something where you can put maybe 5 minutes a week kind. You have to constantly monitor your tank, make sure everything is doing okay. Of course, at the end of the day, these are all live stocks in your tank. So our new shop will be similar to this one here. So I think it will be the second concept store where we have a marine store as well as the cafe side. So cafe side will be called Milky Bar, and for our coral side will be called Hayang. So we have the Mindtrick Zoa here. So this is one of the special corals that we have as well. Then we also have our grafted Setosa, which is this piece. And we have this gonio, which what we call is called grafted gonio. And then also the glitter gonio. Then the most recent Monty that we released is this Monty, which is called Sour Patch Monty.
All these you all culture yourself?
Yeah, we culture ourselves. So actually all these frags, like I mentioned earlier, when we frag them, then they have a higher survivability rate in our tanks, and then they are able to adapt to our tank environment.
So is it the same for captive bred fish?
Similar, it's the same thing. Talking about captive bred fish, we also have a few captive bred designer clowns that I can show you. So like this is the grade A white horse saddleback that you see. So this is the last few pairs available in the world, as well as this one is a smaller one, this pair here.
I heard both are very expensive, right?
Yeah, we price them about 1.6k.
Wow.
For a pair. Yeah.
So what is this pot for?
This pot is actually for breeding the clownfishes. So once they lay eggs, then hopefully we can make this breed more sustainable and also not be the last few pairs available in the world.
Wow, you have a very nice display tank over here. Do you want to talk more about it? Because I saw, wow, so colourful.
So for Supreme, we're actually known for our lagoon view tank, so it gives you a nicer view of the corals from a top-down view. So talking about corals, we have these two Gonio Bernardoras. So like for this one, it's actually called Golden Inferno Gonio. So for these two corals, we actually frag them once we see a bit of growth, and then we're able to sell them to customers, because there's a lot of reefers who actually want these two Gonio, but we don't sell the whole colony as it is.
Why is it so famous?
Because of the colours are there. Very, very striking and vibrant colours. Then the other corals I can show you is like something like this one. This will be Frankenstein bounce. So it's under the bounce family, where you also have your OG bounce as well. Yeah. So I have the Flaming Phoenix Montipora and Iron Man Blasto over here. And then also you can see over here is the Bleeding Apple Baobanki. So actually if you notice for this display tank, you notice that about 80% or 90% is made out of frags. So we also want to show that even with frags, you can make a tank this colourful, so you don't really need to buy colonies.
Thank you, Ivan, for sharing with us today. So if you're looking for a place to come for coral and cafe, you can actually come here. And if you're looking for sustainable coral, here is the place for you.